Okay, so we're going to dive into something pretty wild. The story of how an ancient spiritual practice, one aimed at total liberation, turned into the tool we use to de-stress after a long day at the office. It's a massive shift, and trust me, the story of how it all happened is way more complex and surprising than you'd think.
I mean, mindfulness is everywhere, right? You literally can't escape it. It's on your phone, it's in corporate wellness programs, your doctor might even recommend it. But here's the thing. This version of mindfulness we see all around us is the result of a really deep, and sometimes controversial journey of translation.
So let's go way back. Originally, meditation wasn't just this thing you did for 10 minutes in the morning. No way. It was completely woven into this whole other system, a full package deal of ethics, community, and a seriously profound philosophical quest to end suffering for good.
And then, bam! Fast forward to today, and the picture could not be more different. Now, meditation is often sold to us as this ultimate secular life hack. A tool to sharpen your focus, to make you more productive, and just to help you cope with the daily grind.
And now it's become a wellness product, something you can literally download. Which just begs the question, how in the world did we go from a sacred path to a pocket-sized app? How did that translation even happen?
All right, so here's the most important thing to get. This wasn't some slow, natural evolution. Modern mindfulness is much more of a radical reinvention. It's a translation that happened because of these immense historical pressures over the last couple of centuries.
The whole story really kicks off with this huge historical force called colonial modernity. Think of it like this. A new boss shows up in town, science and Western rationalism. And this new boss says, "My way is the only legitimate way to see the world." All of a sudden, ancient traditions like Buddhism were on the back foot, forced to prove they were still relevant according to these new rules.
So how did Buddhism respond to this challenge? Well, some truly visionary thinkers created what we now call Buddhist modernism. They made a very strategic choice. They decided, okay, if we want this tradition to survive and be heard, we have to learn to speak this new language. We need to translate our ancient practices into terms that modern science and rationality will accept.
In this translation, it really unfolded like a three-act play. Act 1, in the 19th century, was all about self-defense, just trying to protect the tradition from outside criticism. Then Act 2, in the mid-20th century, was this deep reinterpretation, where the focus really shifted to the internal, psychological benefits. And that set the stage for Act 3, the global explosion we're living through right now, with secular mindfulness showing up absolutely everywhere. But, with any big translation, things get lost. This modern makeover made the practice accessible to millions, which is incredible. But what got left on the cutting room floor? What was the cost of this translation? And this table just lays out the trade-offs so clearly. I mean, look at the goal. It goes from nirvana, total liberation from suffering, all the way down to stress reduction. And the context? It shrinks from this rich web of community, ritual, and ethics to something that's individual, secular, and focused only on the technique. And those huge concepts like karma and rebirth, well, they often just get quietly ignored. This whole transformation has sparked a really powerful critique, and it has the perfect name for it, McMindfulness. You get it, right? The idea is that modern mindfulness can be like spiritual fast food. It's super convenient, it's everywhere, but maybe it's been stripped of all its real nutritional value.
And this quote gets right to the heart of that critique. When the entire focus is just on your individual stress, the unspoken message becomes, hey, the system is what it is, you're the one who needs to adjust. It becomes about adapting to a possibly broken world rather than questioning or changing it.
Critics even have a name for the process, the McMindfulness pipeline. It goes like this. First, you isolate the technique from its ethical roots. Then, you strip away any concepts that don't sound scientific. You rebrand it as a tool for efficiency, and what comes out the other end? A practice that helps you conform to the system rather than one that truly transforms you or the system itself. But listen, that's a tough critique, and the story definitely doesn't have to end there. A lot of people are now pushing back and asking, wait a minute, how can we reclaim the real heart of this practice? How do we move beyond just using it as a tool and get back to the actual path? And the way forward seems to be about being much more conscious and holistic. It means intentionally putting the ethics and the sense of community back into the practice. It means turning our awareness not just inward but outward, to look at the systems that cause suffering in the first place. It's about being really deliberate and self-aware about this active translation.
So all of this leaves us with a really big and honestly kind of exciting question. If we can reclaim mindfulness not just as a tool for our own personal well-being, but as a deep, ethical, and socially aware path, then what kind of world could we actually build with that? What does that make possible?